Yo, what's going on, guys? Matthew V. Haynes here, aka the Clock Master, and today, let me just take my headphones off. I have no need for this. Right now, we're going to be talking about a very controversial thing that's been going on with Marvel right now, and that's Captain Marvel. There's been a lot of fan reactions and fan reviews and things that's been going on. I've read none of them. I've seen highlights and I've heard what has been going on. I don't want any of this to influence my approach to the movie when I go in to watch this movie. I don't want any of that to kind of affect what's going on. But we're here to address all this hate and backlash towards Brie Larson and Captain Marvel. So I'm gonna make some of these points, man, and I want to say this very clear, man. Everyone is open to make whatever opinions you want to make about anything, right? You can talk about, you know, a song, a movie, a show, a person, a political thing, an idea, anything in the government, whatever you want to talk about. You're free. At least in the United States, you can make those opinions, right? And no one's really gonna literally physically kill you for it. You know what I mean? For the most part, everyone can say what they want to say. So you can say what you have to say. Your criticism doesn't have to be positive, and it doesn't necessarily have to be all good either. It can be a negative thing as well, as long as I feel if your criticism is constructive, it's honest, and you're respectful about it in the end, right? I've called out people for certain things before in the past in my videos, things that I did not like, things that I did not appreciate with shows and comic books and movies and so on. And I've openly said my opinion, whether it's been negative or positive. But what I'm addressing here is when it gets to the point of you body shaming the actress, or literally targeting the movie and the actors as a whole just because you don't like them, and getting personal and sending death threats and that's what I'm addressing. When you go beyond that point of humanity, of being a human, you lose your humanity there, and you get trapped in this idea that I'm going to just lash out all these hurtful, mean, hateful things at this actress and at these people just because I don't want something to succeed. Now, I haven't seen Captain Marvel. I hope it's good. I hope Brie Larson does the character justice. I mean, I feel if Brie Larson can do what the character do her role justice and act the way her character is supposed to act and do these things and be a likable character, then I will enjoy this movie. If the movie is bad and Brie Larson does not deliver on anything, really, she doesn't bring anything to the table with this character, then I will openly say so. I will openly talk about it. I will say if it's bad, I will say if it's good. And then again, that just boils down to my opinion in the end. Now, a lot of people have been talking about Brie Larson being bland and boring and not having any personality and not showing any signs of being it doesn't feel like a superhero movie. And I've even heard recently in comments people saying they're not excited for Captain Marvel. They're not excited for a lot of these movies coming out anymore because it's just feeling forced. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like Captain Marvel's part of the MCU. And I get that. I get where you're coming from. I understand those concerns, and I can see why you're saying that. I'm definitely not throwing it out the window. I'm not throwing it saying that it does not mean anything or doesn't relate to anything. I definitely agree with most of the points you're making. Now, that, in my opinion, would be constructive. That, in my opinion, is justified. You can say that. I don't see anything wrong with that, and that's just being honest. But again, when you come down to the point of body shaming, right? Saying Brie Larson's booty too small, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Scar Joe has this, and there's even reports that that Brie Larson had literally a butt double. I've seen so many videos on that. I've read so many articles about it that Brie Larson had a butt double for certain scenes, and that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know a lot of us guys, we like our eye candy and all this kind of stuff like that, but you shouldn't body shame somebody, man. If it's not your thing, leave it alone. I mean, if somebody ain't blessed in a certain area, all right, they may be blessed in another area, and that's just the way they were born. They can't really do much about that. If you're talking about Scarlett Johansson and you like that, you okay, you know, good for you. You know what I mean? But don't try to compare her to ScarJo and all these other people. I mean, I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? That's just body shaming the actress. That's just you're getting too personal with it. And I think that's just too much, man. Now, if you want to talk about character representation, if you want to talk about Brie Larson representing Captain Marvel and saying that maybe her acting is not representing the character, we can talk about that. We can have a debate about that. We can compare and contrast. We can do what we need to do with those two things. I think that's fine. If you want to say that Brie Larson is maybe a little too cringy in some lines, we can talk about that too, because in my personal opinion, I felt as if Brie Larson was a little bit cringy in some of the trailers that I've seen. Some lines weren't delivered fully for me, and that's just basing it off of the trailer. I have to see her full performance when the movie comes out. When I see the movie, was it next week? I think it's next week I'm gonna be seeing. Why am I gonna be seeing the movie? I know I bought this ticket like 2 months ago when it was on sale. When am I supposed to be watching this movie? Let's see. I bought the ticket, already reserved my seat already. I'm giving a review same night too. Let me see. My tickets. March 7th. And that March 7th is when? I'm seeing it March 7th. March 7th is next week, Thursday. So literally a week from today of this video, I will know. I will have everything I need to compare. I have the comic book knowledge. I have the background information. I will go in there, I will watch this movie, and I will see for myself. I'm going there with no bias at all. This is one of the characters I'm going in with no. I like Captain Marvel, I really do, but I'm not going in there with a specific bias. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna see what happens. We're just gonna watch this thing and literally just see what happens. That's all we're really gonna do, guys. So again, and I suggest you do the same. I suggest you go into this film with an open mind, watch the movie, form your own opinion, and then go from there. Just don't hop on the hate train just to hate for no reason, don't do that, man. Form your own opinion and do that. And what I noticed about, especially being like critics or movie reviews, I don't even like to consider myself a critic. I just like to consider myself a person who has a platform, who likes to voice his opinion about things he likes. Simple as that. If you want to call me a critic, you want to call me a reviewer or whatever, but I find people in the YouTube space who are critics, reviewers, YouTube movie reviewers, reactors, whatever, especially when you see a lot of movies like I do and a lot of other reviewers do. Sometimes I was actually watching a video about Angry Joe was talking about this in one of his videos. You stop being a fan sometimes. Like you start noticing mistakes in films. You start noticing lines being weird, or certain cues not lining up, or certain things visually don't really look too right. You start noticing those things when you become a reviewer, and like you forget what it is to be a fan. And I will definitely tell you this, I'm at a point where a lot of times when I see movies, I forget what it's like to be a fan. I'm watching Alita, or I'm watching a movie, or I'm watching a show, and I'm looking at all the little details in the acting, in the score, in the performance, the script, everything, the costume design. These are things I'm looking at when I'm watching a movie. And like 4 years ago, right, or way before I started this channel 2.5 years ago, right, 2.5 years, dang, 2.5 years ago, before I started this channel. I mean, I've always been critical of movies even before I started this channel, but I've never been this critical about movies. So I would just watch a movie and I would geek out. Like, I would never really talk about those small, intricate details that make a film a film. And I think, you know, a lot of us these days, everyone thinks their opinions are godly opinions and that it doesn't matter what anyone else says and it's this or whatever. It's all opinions, guys. Even film critics who went to school for film or studied film, it's still their opinion in the end, because everyone has their perspective. Everyone lines up certain things to their personal ideals and morals and what they think, their ideologies. All those things represent someone's opinion, man, on how they view certain stuff. So it's all opinion based at the end of the day. And I think I do a pretty good balance of being a fan and being critical when I need to be. Especially with Alita, I felt that a lot of the, and I want to make a separate video about that at some point. I think I will, maybe either later today or tomorrow or something. I'll make a video talking about the Alita backlash from people. I understand why critics don't like Alita, but I understand why fans do. And, you know, it was like kind of like a mixture of the two. So anyways, guys, all I'm saying in this video, man, don't body shame, respect people, go into this movie with an open mind, man, see what happens, come out, and if it's not good, it's not the end of the world, man. It's really not the end of the world. You don't have to like it, all right? It doesn't have to be good. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to watch it. It's like a lot of people didn't watch Ant-Man and the Wasp. You don't have to. It's your choice. And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I just want to talk a little bit about all this stuff going on with Captain Marvel. I'll see y'all in the next video, man. Clockmaster out.